Hello, I'm Danielle Jagelski. I'm from northern Idaho, in between the towns of Lewiston and Lapwai, on the Nez Perce Reservation, and I'm currently living in Amsterdam. My musical training began when I was a child because my parents were strong Catholics and required me to sing in church every Sunday. By high school, music had become a passion, and I wanted to study it in college, but I really didn't have any idea how to do that. I had never actually even had a private lesson. So I ended up going to a liberal arts college all the way in Minnesota called Hamline University. And even there, it wasn't until my third year that I really thought of music as something that could be a career. Here, I would meet Kathy Thompson, the woman who would become my mentor, and found myself interested in conducting. Conducting was interesting to me because even though I wasn't the best singer in the choir or the sharpest lyrician in the class, I felt I had a knack for bringing people together and for creating a space in which musicians wanted to create together. From there, I wanted to learn as much about conducting as I could. So I found a study abroad program at the Conservatorium of Amsterdam and ended up gaining acceptance as well as a scholarship. My time in Amsterdam was very difficult. My colleagues were miles ahead of me in their training, but after a few months I came out of it wanting more than ever to be a conductor. I went back to Hamline for my senior recital, and I organized, rehearsed, and conducted a small choir of 10 women. This was the first time I had done something like this all on my own, and I consider it one of my greatest accomplishments. Through my time on the podium that Kathy gave me, I started to realize that my personal position as a conductor was not necessarily as a leader, but rather as a facilitator. I was not a gardener popping fruits out of nowhere. I was a chef bringing together carefully cultivated ingredients to make something beautiful. After my undergrad, I was subtly discouraged from studying music in grad school by my very loving but practical and blue-collar parents. So I took a gap year and went back to Amsterdam. I worked as a nanny, in a coffee shop, cleaning houses, and I eventually found myself with a job in marketing for an international new music festival called Choral Muziekweek. Choral was a big turning point for me. Being around all these other musicians and performers made me realize that this itch for performing was not going to go away. The passion I had for music had not died over these couple years of not studying. This itch needed to be scratched. I no longer want to model myself brick by brick on all of the other conductors around me. Rather, I want to cultivate who I am as a conductor and as a person. I want to be around conductors that see the art form, though very public, as a profoundly personal journey. What I want to achieve by studying conducting in graduate school is musical maturity. Because of my non-traditional musical upbringing and liberal arts education, I have not had the opportunity to have as much music as many of my colleagues. I have not had a lot of chance to spend time around practicing conductors and professional musicians. In a lot of ways, I think that my conducting training was a little bit backwards. I know where I stand in relation to the ensemble, but I often find myself lost when it comes to my personal journey throughout the music. I want to know what goes on in the conductor's head in between seeing the ink on the page and the making of the music. Thank you.